Okay, this is a full beginner guide for Grand Cross. I have already made one, it is in the second channel, but I decided to remake it because I felt like if I did another one, I'll make a better one. And not only that, I didn't want to just re-upload on my main channel, the one from the second channel, so yeah, this is a complete guide, and I think it will be better than the previous one I did, just because I have even more knowledge of the game that I previously had, because I pretty much know everything about the game. So, where to start? Now, I will leave a guide, a timestamp in the description of all the things that are in the video, and if you just need a specific thing, you can just jump into what you need, you know? The topics will be, first of all, if you should reroll, how to back up your account, which I think is very important, how to progress through story, how to actually play the game, the gameplay of it, how to farm not equipment, but how to farm the level up items that you use to awaken and level up characters, what are dupes for in the game, what to buy in the coin shop, which is a big part of the game, and the one that most people requested me that I didn't include in the first one, how to farm gems. I'm going to include that. It's going to be at the end, but you can just jump if you just want to know about that. You can just click on the timestamp. Now, already wasted 1 minute. Let me just jump into it. Now, rerolling. What character should I reroll for? So, in the game, there is this website. Not in the game, but there is this website. I clicked the wrong thing. I should have... This. There's this website right here. The Grand Cross database, and also the Grand Cross GZ. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for both of these websites, and I think you should add these to your favorites because everything in the game is translated in these websites. Now, my favorite one is this one, the database, because they're faster, they add the characters faster to the website, and they actually translate the patch notes as well. So whenever there's a new patch note, you can just click here in the event schedule, and you can just click on the patch note, you know, it's gonna be in here. But this website has not only a tier list that you can, it's a pretty good tier list, not perfect, but pretty good. And it also has guides, if you just need a quick thing, like, oh, what does gear do, and stuff like that. Not in here, but is it database? Yeah. What does a specific gear do, you know? So you just bookmark these characters, these websites. But what characters should I reroll for in the beginning? There are 3 characters that you should reroll for if you can. The first one is Escanor. Now, Escanor, Green Escanor, I don't know when you're watching this video if there's a new Escanor. Right now he's the only Escanor in the game, but Green Escanor, he is a fantastic unit for new players just because he's solid in every activity in the game. So if you can pull him, kudos. He's good for PvP, he's good for story, he's good for raids, he's okay for raids. He's good for everything. So, Escanor is really good. The other one is Green Meliodas. Green Meliodas is also fantastic for story mode. He's probably the best unit for story mode because of his passive. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but just have this information. And Blue Demon Meliodas. Blue Demon Meliodas is the most overpowered unit in the game. He is not as good for story mode as, let's say, Green Meliodas, but he is so good that just by having him, your box is worth a lot. So, yeah, those are the 3 units. And if you just pull, like, the thing is that you don't need specific units, and pulling a specific unit is actually much easier than in other games. So even if you don't get one of these 3, you can progress and you can eventually pull them easily because every unit in the game that isn't a character original or like a event exclusive unit is in every banner. So not like Blue Demon is the most overpowered unit in the game, but he's in every banner ever. So there's that. This is for rerolling. Now, backing up your account, I think it's very important. A lot of people don't know how to back up their accounts. You back up your account by clicking here at the top on rank, and you just click here on Google Play or email, and you back up your account like that. That's how you do it. So I think it's very important. It's quick, and I think it's very important. If you're playing on iOS, inside of Google Play, it's going to be like, whatever the iOS thing is. I don't have an iPhone, but it's just like that. It's so easy, and you don't lose your account. And you also have transfer codes, which is right here. Right here. There's a transfer code right here. You just click here. Don't lose your account. Alright. Fast. Now story. Story is a big one. Lots of people ask me on Twitter, what do I do? Whenever you want to do story, you click here on the gold thing. It's so simple. It's just because, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, you know? But you click the gold thing, this is gonna pop up a request, and you just click to go. And it's gonna take you to the stage. Seriously, this game, they knew lots of people that don't know Korean or Japanese, because right now the only versions are Korean and Japanese. They knew a lot of people that don't speak those languages would play the game. So everything that you need in the game, if you click on it and click to go, they're gonna take you to the stage. And you just complete the stage. You just beat it. That's just like that. If not a stage, lots of missions are, buy something, or level up something. It's gonna take you where it is, and honestly, it's pretty easy. Like, let's say you click on the story, and I don't know, you click here to go to Ban, and it asks you to cook something. It's pretty obvious. Not gonna go into cooking because I think it's a video on its own, but it's kind of obvious. You can do story mode pretty easily. Now, doing the story mode can be hard. Again, the reason why I said, you want to start with Ascon or Meliodas because they're good for stories, is because the story mode is actually pretty hard. So just keep that in mind. Now, how to actually play the game. So I'm gonna just go into an easy stage. I should have just kept myself in there, just because I want to explain really quickly how to play the game. Because I know it took me like, I don't know, a few days to actually get the whole grasp of it, and I think it's very important for new players to just know what they're doing. So in general, every character has 2 ability cards, a passive, and a ultimate. I don't know, the word just escaped my mind. I'm sorry, I just drank a big cup of coffee just because I wanted to just start my day and just do this. But every character in the beginning of the battle starts with his 2 cards. So my characters are Lilia, Meliodas, and Hauser, for example. Of course, the characters can be different, but it starts with both of the cards. As you can see, it's not random. This is not random. It starts with both their cards, and an extra card that is completely random. And yeah, so how does the cards work? You have three turns, and whoever has more combat power, which is defined by how strong your characters are, starts. That's pretty simple. You use your 3 turns and you attack. If you aren't found of the cards you use, if you want to reset your turn, just click reset. Simple. On PvP you have a timer, but it's fine. You get the grasp of it. You can level up your cards because these cards are level 1, right? By combining them. If you combine 2 cards of the similar grade, they become an extra grade. How do you know what they do? Again, you can go on the website and just learn what the characters do, but you can also hold on the character and just know what the characters do if they're stronger, if the cards are stronger. So right now I wanted to combine these 2. So a level 1, you can see it's 100%. If I make a level 2, it's 150. Nothing crazy that you just need to know, but again, these are pretty much how to play. And again, you get the grasp of stuff better with time, but that's pretty much it. And you know what the characters do if you just either read it, if you know Japanese, or by going on their website I told you. They have every information in the game, and let's say, I just pulled Meliodas, what does Meliodas do? You go on the website, and you get to know. I think my game is loud. It's a yikes. I think my game is loud, but you just go on that website, and you know what to do. So again, right here, I have more combat power than the enemy, so I go first. This is how going first is decided. So a lot of stages you will have less power than the enemy and they will start, but that's normal. And then as you can see, I use my ultimate. I didn't get to explain how to get an ultimate. I'm so dumb. Every single time you have a turn, every single time you use a card, combine a card, or move in general, you will get an ultimate gauge. And if you fill 5 ultimate gauges, you get an ultimate. Nothing crazy, you know. You get it pretty easily with time and just playing. Yeah. Now, how to evolve characters and gear. I should have mentioned gear in the beginning, but it's gonna be with how to evolve characters. So your characters will be in this tab. This tab will take you to all your character list. Now, let's say I want to awaken this DN, which is an SSR. You awaken your character in this tab right here and level up. And I didn't want to click and level up on this right here. So, let's say I wanted to awaken her. These are the items. Books and a pendant. You'll learn how annoying pendants are, but that's not the topic for this video. And you can level up the characters. So how do you get the items to level up and awaken? You will get the items if you click here on these two crossed swords and you go in the SP. In these Japanese words, I don't know. It's SP dungeon, the translation. This will take you here. And here you can see the stages. There's green, red, and blue. Whatever element the character is, you do it. The level up doesn't matter. You just choose what element the enemies you want to face, I guess. But let's say I want blue books. I just click the blue book stage and just do the stage, and I'll be rewarded blue books. Don't worry. You can see that sometimes the stamina cost is pretty high, but stamina is pretty much unlimited in this game if you just play the game enough. Just because you can buy stamina without gems. You can just buy with in-game currency that isn't the premium currency, which is really dope. I wish more games that did that. The only games I know that do that I've personally played are this game and Dragon Ball Legends. But yeah, that's pretty much how I level up characters. I talked about the pendants. You get pendants from this one. This one has, you can go up to 5 times. You get 1 gold each 8 hours. I mean, you can go unlimited times, but you can only have up to 5 stamina at a time. You can get 1 stamina per 8 hours, and this is for gold. You get a little bit of gold boxes in this one. You'll also learn that gold is actually pretty scarce, so never miss this. You'll get a max of 10 if you just never use, and you get 1 stamina every 2 hours. So if that was pretty complicated, I'm sorry. It's just that sometimes I feel like, oh, this is pretty simple, but if you're new to the game, maybe it's complicated. But yeah, this is very important. This section of the game is very important. It was actually updated. It used to be much worse, but they constantly update the game with good stuff, so it's way too good right now. But yeah, this is pretty much how you evolve characters, this SP dungeon thing. In the talks of this section, here you can choose what equipment you want to grind. Here is for getting raids. You don't need to know this right now. Here's for PvP, again, also you don't need to know this right now. Training dungeon, you don't need to know this right now. It's for more deep into the game, and by then you'll get a grasp of it. And this will be the event. In here, you actually have an activity that gives you 2 gems every day. As a new player, you can beat this, like in a week time of playing, but not really as a brand new player. But yeah, moving on to gear, which is still in the same topic, but I'm actually going to have another section for it in the timestamps. Gear. What do you do with gear? So, gear is a little complex, I'll have to say. But in general, let me actually put gear on my Escanor because he doesn't have any right now. Let me put this gear on him. So in general, you will see the gear and these symbols that it has. The symbol represents what the gear gives. So let's say you have a sword. The gear gives attack. I'm actually going to change to the website that I told you because it's much easier to explain like that. Boom, let me go here. In this website again, you go in the database and you go in gear sets. You see the symbols, right? Each gear has its own symbol. This one's for attack, and it's pretty well represented with a sword. If you have 4 of this symbol of gear, you will get extra 20% attack. If I go back to my game, you'll see that I have 4 of the sword one. This procs the 20% attack. Now, there's other like symbols, of course. There's the shield, which is for defense. If you have 2 defense sets, you get 20% defense. How do you know how many you need? It will show right here. Sure. It's not that complicated. Attack needs 4. Like, let's say this one is crit damage. It needs 2. So you can know by that. And how do you upgrade equipment? So you just click on the equipment, and you click here, and you can upgrade it like that. You just click here, and in the later stages of equipment, there's a chance of upgrading. So right now it only has a 10%, but just upgrade as much as you can. And right now, as a new player, I would recommend only upgrading low tier gear. Like, let's say I don't have any C gear right now on me, but you can get up to, from C gear up to SSR gear. Upgrade C gear, because C gear you can reroll the stats with gold. Like, let's say I want to I don't want to reroll this. It's pretty good. Can I reroll something? Oh, okay. I don't care about this one or this one. So, let's say I want to reroll in stats, because these are random. These stats right here are random. If I want to reroll it, I can just spend gold. So if I click here and here, it will change the stat. And you want to go for whatever you want. You can like know what these stacks are from the website. And I mean, after playing the game for a while, you can pretty much know. But for attack, you just know that it ends like this. It ends with this this symbol. For defense, it also ends with this symbol. For HP, it's called HP. This is so complicated. I just realized how complicated it is for new players, but you get the grasp of it. It's actually pretty easy. After you play for a little bit, you'll learn what the attacks are just by playing. I know this one's crit damage just from my head, but you reroll with gold. Like you just spend gold. But if it's SSR gear and you want to reroll, it costs gems. Or this currency, but you don't have this currency yet. You need to be playing the game for a while to get this. So for new players, you have to reroll with gems. So go for C gear. C, Ultra Common, UC, and Rare. These are the ones that you can reroll with gems. So just know of that. And always go for HP here. Balls go for HP. This one goes for defense, and this one goes for attack. Every time. The top one goes for attack, the middle one goes for defense, and the bottom one goes for HP. Every time. This is always like that. Always. The only thing that you can really choose is if it's going to be an attack gear for this, of course, or if it's going to be like a defense here on the symbols. But the top one will always reroll for attack, the middle one will always reroll for defense, and the bottom one will always reroll for HP. Related stuff, you know? This one can be crit damage, this one can be patience, which is another form of defense, and this one can be like HP regeneration, but only related stuff. Man, gear is so complicated. Oh god, just saying it out loud, because I already know this stuff, but just saying it out loud, I just realize how complicated it actually is. But it just is what it is. Man, this was the most complicated thing on the whole game, to be honest. But yeah, now going on to easier stuff. Dupes. Because every gacha game requires dupes, right? If you play Dokkan Battle, you realize that, man, I pulled the new Blue Gogeta. But without dupes, he can't really crit before he awakens. Let's say. Well, what are dupes for on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross? Not much. Dupes are for 3 things. Dupes increase the amount of damage your ultimate does. So whenever you get a dupe, the character will be in a coin. And that increases the amount of damage his ultimate does. It doesn't increase his stats. It doesn't increase how much damage his attacks do. Only his ultimate. Which, as I showed, you get an ultimate by getting 5 alt gauge. That's it for this. There's another reason why ults are important. If you have a full 6/6 ultimate, you can get up to 6 dupes for that. Your character will give more stats to other characters. That becomes a little more interesting. So let's say this character is at 6/6. She has full ult. She's gonna give more stats, even though her base stats are lower. As a support character, she gives more stats than Escanor, which is the brute of stats. He is the god of the game. He's not really, but he's the god of the anime. And he gives less stats than this girl, just because she has more ult gauge than him. More ult level than him. And that applies to all rarities. So let's say you want to use a SR unit as a support right here. I have this SR Elizabeth. Where is she? She is a 6/6. So she's gonna give more stats than Escanor, because Escanor is 4/6. She doesn't have gear right now. Escanor does, but that's not the point. That's one of the reasons why. It starts to get a little bit more complicated. Man, this complicated stuff is so hard to say out loud, but it's for that. If you have more ult level on your character, it's gonna give more stats as a support than a one with less ult level. That's also one thing, but it's not that big of a difference. It's still a difference, but you can use SRs and Rs. Like let's say this Guild Thunder, he's an SR unit. He's gonna give more stats than Gallant, for example. That is an SSR, just because I have more ult level. And that doesn't apply really for new players, but you're gonna start knowing that. I just wanted to say because it is a thing. And the other thing that dupes are used for is the shop. You can see this icon, shop. The coin shop, which is under the king here. King has a coin shop, and whenever you get a coin dupe, you can use this coin dupe to buy things from this shop. Now, this is how the shop looks. You can either buy these characters that are in here. These are coin shop exclusives. You cannot pull these characters. You can only buy them. As far as I'm aware, I've been playing for 2 months and I never pulled them, so I think you can only buy them. So, let's say I want Gopher. Gopher is one of the best units in the game. You can either wait for him to have a discount, which refreshes every 2 weeks, and it brings 2 characters that are exclusive to coins to become 5 coins instead of 7. It's really good. The cheaper price is really good. Also, there's summonable characters now. This actually is pretty recent. They put summonable characters in here. They're going to reroll summonable characters, so maybe eventually like Escanor can be in here, who knows. Or you can also buy SSR tickets, which I don't recommend. These are guaranteed SSR, but I don't recommend. I recommend buying these characters, because Gopher is the most useful unit in the game. And right now he's discounted, but he's going to go away in 6 days. He's going to be not discounted anymore, and another unit is going to come here, but one of the most useful in the game. And then Red Demon Meliodas is super good. King is a free-to-play unit, you get him from story mode. Dien is also free-to-play, you get him from story mode. Bun's pretty good, and Merlin is one of the best PvP units in the game. So these coin shop units are super good. If you don't want to use a character as a dupe, and you want to use them to buy characters, you can totally do that. Because a lot of characters, you're like, oh man, this character is not even that good. I don't want to use him as a dupe. I was going to use him as a coin. And that's super good. Now, SRs also become coins if you get dupes for them, which you can use in this shop. You can either buy some SSRs. These are the list of SSRs you can buy, which also become discounted. You can buy them if you want. I would recommend mostly buying these SP dungeon balls. Maybe for new players you don't have to, but I would recommend always buying these because it's very important to have them. Or if you want to buy SSR tickets, it's pretty good. It's a 12% chance of being an SSR, but again, I would recommend mostly buying these balls because they are stamina for a speed dungeon, which is really, really good. And Rs also become coins, and you're gonna pull Rs a lot, right? And Rs, you can buy stamina bottles. You can buy full refresh of stamina. 1 full refresh of stamina for 1 rare coin. So let's say I just want to use a rare coin. Boom. That's a full stamina bottle. Imagine how many R units you get in every game. Like if you play Dokkan, imagine how many R units you get on Dokkan when you summon. Every time you summon. That 1 rare unit is 1 full stamina refresh. And I have like what? How many do I have? I have 57 right now. I use like at least 10 a day. Like it's just so good. It's just so good. You have infinite stamina in this game pretty much. And also in the coin shop you have do I recommend buying anything else? Gustav is really good, so I would recommend buying him, but only when he's discounted. The friend points. You can get friend points by using friend units when people use your friend units, and by eating stuff in other people's bars, which I don't really recommend doing this right now, but here you can either buy stamina bottles just like with rare coins, or you can buy a speed dungeon stamina, which again I would recommend once you get to max 2000 points. But that's pretty much it about the coin shop. Now about the gems. Everyone wants to know about the gems, because I got, I think it was 700 free gems in the first 2 weeks of the game. Because when I started playing the game, Escanor came out and I really wanted him, and that's pretty much how much it took me to get him. So, how did I get this many free gems? Well, essentially, the game gives you a lot. And how do the game give you a lot? So, if you go in story mode, and you just beat story... How do you go to story mode? You come here, okay. On story mode, you have side quests. So let's say every time you enter a new story chapter, you get a new town. And the town has a lot of side quests. Right here, you can see these side quests right here. So by completing them, right, lots of them give you gems. Just 1 gem, 2 gems, and just go like that. And every time you clear a new stage, it also gives you a gem. And all of these, right, if you complete all of these, you get 30 gems as well, which is a full multi. 30 gems is the price of the multi. And that's pretty much how. You just do side quests on the towns. That's how much you get, like, that's how you get, like, so many gems. Now, be aware, the ones that give you equipment, and the ones that give you these like food thingies, like it will have this symbol, like an exclamation point. These don't do these. These don't give you gems. This only like is just bait missions. Like do these ones that are yellow. And are the other ones not yellow? Yeah, they're all yellow and blue. The ones that are yellow and blue, you do these. These give you so many gems. As a beginner player, it's actually insane. It's like almost all of these give you 1 gem each, if not like 5, because there's some that like are 5 missions, and then if you do 100% of the town, you get 30 gems. And look at how many towns there are. This is how you get insane amounts of gems as a beginner player. Now, as a old player, right? How do you get gems after you already completed all of this? Mostly from daily missions and PvP. Now, daily missions, how do you do these? The more you progress with the chapters, you get these daily missions right here. So, this one's for cooking. If you cook 1 time a day, you get 2 stamina bottles, which is crazy. And then also play a stage gives you this, but the gems one. Play any free stage that gives you like food or equipment, gives you 1 gem. And play 1 PvP match ungeared, gives you another gem. So that's 2 gems a day from daily missions. 2 gems. And then, if you have a guild, which you will unlock on like chapter 5, I think. If you log in every day on your guild, you also get 1 gem. And from this mission right here on the event, you also get 2 gems, which is random. Like, it's random, 1 mission. Oh, not this one. This one? No. There's so many. There's so many missions right here. This one. It's random, but it gives you 2 gems a day. But the big deal for old players is PvP. On PvP, if you grind PvP to your max level, you get 50 to 60 gems every week. 60 gems is 2 multis. Every week, for free. PvP is the biggest source of gems for concurrent players that have been playing the game for like over a month. This is the best source of gems. Like right now, I am honestly not investing in PvP because the meta sucks right now. I'll be honest with you, the meta kind of sucks. But right now, as someone that only plays 1 match of PvP every day, just because of the daily mission, I get 50 gems every week. This is the rank that I'm in. I get 50 gems a week by playing 1 PvP match a day. 50 gems a week. Almost enough for 2 multis. Now, of course, not everyone's going to be on my rank, but you can see right here your progression of PvP. Like, the prior rank is like 42 to 50, 42 to 34, and you can rank up on PvP pretty easily just if you know what you're doing. And you know how to play the game, pretty much. And if you have Blue D and Meliodas, that's a good part. But oh, don't you D-rank? If you are at 5, you don't D-rank to the prior rank. So, it doesn't matter. If you don't play the game ever again, you're just gonna keep getting the 50 gems every week. It's just, it's so good. It's so good, the PvP system, how it is with the gems. So right now, as someone that plays the game a lot, I just get 50 gems every week. Geared just gives you PvP coins. So this is pretty much how you get gems. Is there any other way to get gems for free? I guess when they bring new story chapters, you also get like 30 gems or whatever amount of gems they give. They also give gems randomly as well on the box. And for paid players, I'm gonna tell you now, for paid players, right? This is not the free gems portion anymore. But for paid players, if you come here in the Elizabeth, you can buy packs that give you gems every day, and it's so much cheaper. Like this one costs 8 euros. And is enough for 2 multis, but you have to log in every day and get 7 every day. And this one is 170 gems, which is worth almost 6 multis, and it's 21 bucks. So these are very worth it. But yeah, I think that's it for new players. I think new players don't need any more information than this. The video is long, I know, but it's because it's packed with information. Other things that you might need to know, how do I beat raids? How do I do other stuff? I'm gonna make like specific videos for each one of those. Like I'm gonna go more in depth on gear. Like that was not in depth at all. Like that gear guide that I gave you right now, it was not at all in depth. I just told you what gear does and didn't tell you how to use it. Pretty much. I'm gonna go more in depth later. I'm gonna make kind of like more. What is this guy doing? I'm gonna make more specific guides later. But yeah, if you wanna see the other specific guides, just be subbed and oh god, I'm out of breath. Thank you for watching.